Good morning and welcome back to the Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing, presented by the Clear Commodity Network and delivering today's top news in mining and mineral exploration. From the new ClearCom studios, here's your host, Trevor Hall.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing. It is Thursday, July 16th. It's a mixed picture in metals this morning and a bit counterintuitive given the headlines. Gold's pulling back, down 0.6% to $4,034 an ounce. Silver is off more sharply, down 1.86% to $56.67 an ounce. Copper, though, is the outlier to the upside, up 0.8% to $6.35 a pound. More on the copper supply setup in just a bit. But the biggest macro story this morning is geopolitical, once again. The United States has carried out another round of airstrikes on Iran, this time striking a supertanker deep inside the Persian Gulf, near Iran's primary crude export terminal. This follows a series of Iranian shipping attacks earlier this week that sent Brent crude surging 12% over 3 sessions to briefly punch through $85 a barrel. Oil has backed off slightly this morning as markets gauge whether this escalates further or gets contained diplomatically. But the copper story got louder this week with 2 separate developments worth watching together. BHP Group reported a 5% drop in fourth quarter copper production, hurt by weaker output at both Escondida and Pampa Norte in Chile, with the company flagging an expected further decline in Chilean copper production for next year. In the same week, First Quantum Minerals is exploring the sale of a minority stake in its Taca Taca copper project in Argentina. That's one of the largest undeveloped copper deposits on the planet. Lower near-term output from Escondida while simultaneously racing to stake out the next generation of development stage projects. That's the copper supply squeeze in a sentence there, and it's exactly why copper has been running hard this year. We'll get to the news out of the miners and explorers here in just a moment, but first a quick word about today's sponsor. This morning briefing is brought to you by Revival Gold. Revival is one of the largest pure gold mine developers operating in the United States. The company is advancing the Merkur Gold Project in Utah with mine permitting preparations and ongoing exploration at the Bear Track Arnett Gold Project in Idaho. Revival Gold is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange with the symbol RVG and trades on the OTCQX market with the symbol RVLGF. Learn more about the company at revival-gold.com.
From power generation to steelmaking, coal still drives the global economy. And the Coal Trader podcast from Clear Commodity Network is where the industry comes to talk about it. Join me, Matt Warder, and my partner Joe Aldina as we break down the latest trends in thermal and met coal, explore shifting market dynamics, and sit down with industry veterans and executives for unfiltered, insightful conversations. Listen to Coal Trader podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at clearcommodity.net. Clear Commodity Network, digital news on the physical markets.
And here's what you need to know this morning. Elemental Royalty has entered into a $25 million U.S. strategic investment package with Quilla Resources to increase its royalty exposure to the producing Chapi copper project in Peru's southern copper belt. It's a district that also hosts operations by Freeport-McMoRan, Anglo American, Buenaventura, and Southern Copper. The deal adds a new 1% NSR royalty over Quilla's Pampa Negra and Candelaria concessions, bringing Elemental's total NSR interest at Chapi to 3% across those areas, and simultaneously gives Elemental approximately a 9% equity stake in Quilla as it advances plans to triple production from 10,000 to 30,000 tons per annum of copper cathode. Chapi restarted production in Q1 this year after a decade offline. CEO David Cole called the new concessions important contributors to Quilla's Phase 2 expansion and noted the management team's track record at Antamina and Buenaventura. Elemental funded the deal from cash on hand. Elemental Royalty trades on the NASDAQ and the TSX with the symbol ELE. Onyx Gold has delivered another strong batch of results from the Argus Gold system at its Munro Croesus project, 75 kilometers east of Timmins in Ontario's Abitibi Greenstone Belt. At Argus North, the headline hole 274A, returned 3.5 grams per ton gold over 28.1 meters and included 5.3 grams per ton gold over 17.8 meters. The Argus North zone has now been intersected from near surface to more than 700 meters vertical depth. It remains open. At Argus Main, hole 324 returned a broad 1 gram per ton gold over 93 meters, notable because it finished in strong mineralization at depth, included 19.3 grams per ton over 0.7 meters in the final 4 meters, with follow-up planned. And in a new area, 250 meters northeast of Argus Main, first pass drilling hit 2.6 grams per ton gold over 7.3 meters in hole 316. It's opening a new target along the Argus Fault corridor. So with 4 rigs running, 110,000 meters of drilling planned, and approximately $18 million in cash, the program continues to demonstrate both scale and grade continuity. Onyx Gold trades on the venture with ONYX and on the OTCQX with ONXGF. Atera Metals has released its Phase 1 drill results from the Totora copper gold project in Chile's Dos Amigos mining district. That's 15 kilometers south of Tintina Mines' Domeco Sulfuros development project. The standout hole 1, drilled into the higher grade core of Frontera, returned 284 meters, grading 0.64% copper equivalent from surface. A second hole at Totora Porphyry returned 194 meters of 0.41% copper equivalent. The Frontera deposit has a historical resource of 16 million indicated tons at 0.56% copper equivalent and 34 million inferred tons at 0.54% copper equivalent. Phase 2 drilling and an NI 43-101 compliant resource estimate are next. Atera Metals trades on the CSE with ATC and on the OTCQB with CSSCF. Trilogy Metals has announced the publication of a coordinated federal and state permitting schedule for its Arctic project in Alaska's Ambler Mining District. It's establishing for the first time a defined timeline toward a record of decision by September 2028. The Arctic project is a high-grade polymetallic VMS deposit containing copper, cobalt, zinc, lead, gold, and silver, and is being advanced through the Ambler Metals joint venture with South 32. Having a published coordinated schedule from both federal and state agencies is significant. It's a significant milestone for the project. The lack of timeline certainty has historically been one of the key overhangs on Ambler projects before. Separately, Trilogy disclosed earlier this month that the U.S. Department of War has proposed a $35.6 million strategic equity investment in the company. That's a signal of the national security dimensions of domestic critical mineral supply. Trilogy Metals trades on the NYSE American and the TSX with TMQ. And Graphite One has cleared a key regulatory hurdle for its planned active anode materials facility in Ohio, with the Ohio EPA formally accepting the company's air permit application as complete and commencing technical review. It's a process milestone, not a final permit, but it confirms the application was complete and moves the project into the substantive evaluation phase. The Ohio facility is designed to produce synthetic battery-grade anode materials for lithium-ion batteries with an initial capacity of 10,000 tons per year, expanding to 25,000 tons. Graphite One trades on the venture with GPH and on the OTCQX with GPHOF. All right, that's your wrap here on the morning briefing. The Mining Stock Daily Morning Briefing is produced by Clear Commodity Network. It is distributed throughout the world through your podcast network of choice and at clearcommodity.net. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Be well. The information presented should not be considered investment advice. Mining Stock Daily and its affiliates are not responsible for any loss arising from any investment decision in connection with the material presented herein. Please do your own research or speak with a licensed financial representative before making any investment decisions.